you're like me, cruising is your absolute favorite way to vacation. But let's be real, it's not all sunshine and tropical drinks. After 20 years of cruising, I've encountered some common issues that can put a damper on your experience. But don't worry, today I'm here to share the top 9 things I hate about cruising and, more importantly, how you can overcome them so they don't ruin your vacation. And by the way, if you have any other advice on common cruising issues, make sure to leave a comment to help other people enjoy their vacationing more. Even though I love cruising, the first day on a cruise can feel like a human version of a cattle drive. The lines, the crowds, the chaos.
It always sounds bad in the beginning.
You've just arrived, excited to start your vacation, and suddenly you're elbow to elbow with hundreds of other passengers trying to do the same thing. And the worst part? Common areas like Windjammer are packed to the brim, making it tough to find a spot to relax and unwind after your journey to the port. Here are a number of things you can do. Once on board, you can head to a quieter area like a smaller eating place or specialty restaurants to escape some of the crowds. You can pack a swimsuit in a carry-on and relax by the pool. In fact, it may be the only time when you see a bunch of loungers open because most people don't think about it, and they're sitting in Windjammer with their suitcases waiting for the cabins to open. If you completely hate crowds, you can choose a later boarding time. Depending on a cruise line, cabins are usually open around 12 to 1 p.m. And so if your arrival time is after that, most people will already have settled into their cabin and you'll avoid a lot of the craziness for the first few hours on board. Or if you want to splurge, you can book a massage for early that day and relax while everybody else is fighting the crowds. In fact, spa services are usually the cheapest on the first day. Either way, you're on a cruise, so don't let that first couple hours ruin your mood. So if the first day can feel like a cattle drive, well, the Disembarkation day can feel like herding cats on a tight schedule.
Isn't that great? That sounds horrible.
No, I really do love cruising, but the last day can really feel stressful, with everybody rushing to get their breakfast, to get to the security, to get through the customs, pick up their luggage, get their rides. And if you think about it, you're woken up at the crack of dawn, faced with long lines and the sadness of ending your vacation. But hey, don't let that ruin your cruise memories. Make sure your travel documents are handy and organized. Get a passport if you don't have one. It is so much faster to go through customs with a passport. We prefer to go with the self-assist departure, where you carry your own bags and leave at your own convenience. And if you're using a rideshare like Uber or Lyft, you'll see that prices will start rising the more and more people get off the ship. So book your ride from the airport in advance, but make sure you give yourself enough time to get off the ship to make it to the meeting spot. And then start looking through those pictures and videos so you can remember what an amazing vacation you just had. Children, bundles of joy, right? Until they're running wild through the ship, turning your hard-earned vacation into a scene from Home Alone.
Oops.
Unsupervised kids can be a headache sometimes. They're running through the hallways, pushing all the elevator buttons, making sounds in what should be an adults-only area, and it's like they had a shot of espresso with their apple juice. So what can you do if that bothers you? You probably heard some good advice to choose cruise lines and itineraries that are less family-focused and avoid cruising during school holidays. Now, I'm going to take a step further, and we found that even during school breaks, there's a huge difference in passengers on a 7-day versus 9-day cruises, because most families only have a week of vacation to take off, and so 9-day cruises are usually a lot calmer. As a side note, there's actually a huge difference between a 3-day and a 4-day cruise, and I am going to make another video about that. I was actually blown away by how different they are, so I will link it in the description and up here whenever it comes out. Back to the tips. Most ships have adults-only areas like Solarium on Freedom Oasis class or the Hideaway on Icon class, where you can usually escape from the chaos. Not always, but usually. Also, one of the big reasons why we shifted towards booking balcony cabins is to have that piece of ocean view paradise without having to worry about finding a quiet spot on a public deck. The pool deck is the ultimate place to soak up the sun, read a book, or sip on a cocktail. You stroll up to the pool, sun hat on, ready to lounge, only to find every single chair is draped with a towel, a book, or a random flip-flop. So the chairs are all claimed, but not being used. Well, welcome to the world of chair hogs, where claiming real estate by the pool at dawn is like an Olympic sport. And this can be rather frustrating for some people. Some cruise lines are starting to enforce stricter policies and removing the towels and items that are left unattended for longer periods. If you really want to get a great spot by the pool, you will want to head to the pool area earlier on to get it, but don't become the chair hog. But what we found is that many people don't even get in the pool and just like to lounge and get some sunshine. And if that's you, then it's worth to explore other spots on the ship. On every ship that we've been on, we found some places that most people don't even know about, so they're quiet and very nice. Have you seen those too good to be true cruise deals? You know, the ones that promise you paradise for pennies and then they end up costing you an arm and a leg. Well, initial advertised price often appears low and then adds hundreds to the final bill with additional fees like port fees, taxes, and gratuities. And then there are onboard expenses that many people don't expect. I came across a cruise line recently that charges you a daily fuel fee after you get on board. So basically, you're pitching in to help them pay their gas bill. And many cruises are surprised by this fee.
Look, wait a minute. What you talking about?
Add to this the ever-changing sale names that basically say the same thing but end up with very similar pricing. You know, kind of those like department stores where they go in and everything is always on sale, but it's always the same price. Or worse, the sale sounds like a great deal, but they bumped up the base price. So what should you do? First, don't believe the flashy sale names. Calculate the total cost, including all additional fees before you book. Always check the fine print if you haven't sailed a cruise line before. And remember that things like onboard credit or free drinks are like cash in your pocket, so do the full math and you'll be good. All right, let's talk gratuities. You paid for your cruise, you're enjoying your vacation, and then bam, your bill shows a hefty service charge. So here's the scoop. Gratuities are usually automatically added to your onboard account, and they cover room stewards, dining staff, and other services. It is a significant chunk of change that can catch you off guard if you are not prepared. Many people just don't like that cruise lines charge gratuities and say they would rather just pay a higher cruise fare. And some cruise lines like Virgin and Azamara, they do include them in their fare, but it's a lot more expensive. The fact is that crew members work extremely hard, often 7 days a week, and are away from their families 6 to 7 months at a time. And these gratuities are a part of their compensation. So whether you like how cruise lines structured the pricing model or not, it's just a part of the cost of taking a cruise. And all cruise lines are very open about the specific amount that you're going to pay per person per day. So the key is just calculate the gratuities into that total amount of what the vacation is going to cost. And some cruise lines do allow you to prepay gratuities so you don't have that huge bill in the end. Let's talk about onboard spending. You've booked your cruise, you're thinking that the bulk of your expenses is covered. And now reality sets in. Specialty dining, drinks, shore excursions, spa treatments, all of them come with a price tag. And now your cruise budget is sinking faster than the Titanic. Being on a cruise can feel like being a kid in a candy store with a credit card. You want to try everything, but those extras can add up really quickly. So here's the plan. Set a budget for onboard spending before you even set foot on the ship. Take advantage of the included amenities. And yes, the buffet and the main dining room are your friends. Look for package deals on drinks and activities. And remember that sometimes the best experiences are free. Some of our most memorable experiences were beautiful sunsets on a deck or meeting other amazing people on the ship. Let's talk about the sales pressure on a cruise that bothers many people. The fact is that there is no shortage of sales pitches for the spa treatments, for specialty dining, for duty-free products, and it can be bothersome for some. Many times, a relaxing massage ends with this awkward upsell for some expensive seaweed wrap or some miracle cream. And you know those educational seminars? They're often just sales events in disguise. So it's easy to feel like you're in the middle of this relentless sales pitch. So here's how we handle it. If you're planning to splurge, booking extras in advance can help avoid some of that constant upsell. And what helps me is just to remember that many people love shopping, so it makes them feel good to buy something on a ship or to participate in an exclusive paid activity. So let them enjoy it, and you just say no thank you with a smile, and don't let it ruin your vacation. Cruising and good food go hand in hand. There's any kind of food you can imagine, and many people, when they're not cruising, they like to go through forum posts and YouTube videos showing all the wonderful food that is out there on the ship. By the way, if it's you, leave me a comment, let me know. But here's the catch. With great food comes great responsibility, and sometimes great weight gain. It's tempting to try everything, especially when you got an unlimited dining package. By the way, there are a number of reasons why we don't buy the unlimited dining package anymore, and I will link to that video up here and in the description. And the same goes for the drink packages. Bottomless margaritas sound great until you realize that your liver might not be on vacation too. So the key is balance. Indulge, but also take advantage of the healthier options available. The ship's fitness facilities are there for a reason. But at the very least, try to take the stairs instead of the elevator. We started choosing active excursions like hiking or snorkeling instead of all-inclusive beach days. And just remember, moderation is the answer to enjoy your cruise vacation without feeling like a stuffed turkey. Speaking of dining packages, here's a video going over them and the reasons why we don't usually buy them. And it's not about money. Or you can watch this other video that YouTube thinks you will really like. By the way, if you like this video, hit thumbs up and subscribe for more.